She might look perfect, stunning smile, flawless style, says all the right things. But behind the surface, there's something deeper that reveals everything you need to know. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. Most men waste years chasing the wrong kind of woman, only to realize too late she was never capable of growth, depth, or loyalty. It's not about how she looks, what she does for a living, or even what she's been through. It's about how she thinks, how she responds to pressure, how she handles people, how she sees the world. Because here's the truth, stupidity in a woman isn't always loud. It's subtle. It hides in her habits. It shows up when she avoids responsibility, lives for validation, and runs from anything uncomfortable. Ignore those signs, and you won't just end up confused. You'll end up emotionally drained, financially stretched, even mentally broken, wondering where it all went wrong. So in this video, I'm breaking down 6 clear signs of a stupid woman. Not to insult, but to give you clarity. These traits destroy relationships, erode trust, and poison every man they touch. We'll start with the most common red flag men overlook, and we'll end with the one that can completely ruin your life if you ignore it. Watch this all the way through, it could save you years of pain. The first clear sign of a truly foolish woman? She lives for the impression, not the reality. She doesn't ask, "Who am I?" She asks, "How do I look?" Her world revolves around validation. If the makeup is flawless, the Instagram likes are rolling in, and strangers are admiring her, she feels like she's winning. But underneath, there's nothing real. No values. No purpose. No idea what truly matters. She'll spend 2 hours perfecting her outfit, but won't spend 5 minutes developing her mind. And that's what makes her dangerous, not because she's evil, but because she's empty. She craves attention like oxygen. She wants admiration more than respect. And here's the trap, in the beginning, she'll seem magnetic. She'll say the right things, carry herself well, and make you feel like you've found something rare. But it's all performance. Over time, the mask starts slipping. Conversations turn shallow. Her insecurity leaks through. And if you're not constantly validating her, she'll grow bitter, spiteful, maybe even manipulative. A woman like this measures her value by public opinion, not private integrity. She'll max out credit cards to maintain an image. She'll chase trends but run from truth. And worst of all, she'll pull you into her fantasy world. Before you know it, you're living a life based on appearance, not reality. And when reality finally hits, that life crumbles. Stoicism teaches us to build from the inside out, to seek character over clout. A woman who hasn't learned that, who chooses the surface over the soul, isn't just a poor choice. She's a liability. Especially for a man who's serious about building something real. And this is just the beginning. The next trait goes even deeper, and once you see it, you won't just notice it in women, you'll start seeing it in your past relationships, your friendships, and maybe even in yourself. Stick with me. The second sign is subtle, but dangerous. She doesn't want to grow. She has no real interest in improving herself, learning something new, or evolving into anything more than she already is. And what makes it worse? She thinks that's a strength. She'll call it confidence, but it's really complacency. And complacency is the enemy of progress. At first, it might not seem like a big deal. She laughs off advice. She zones out when you talk about goals. She avoids books, challenges, or anything that could expose her blind spots. But give it time, and you'll feel it. You'll be evolving, building, striving, while she's standing still, recycling the same excuses and thought patterns like a broken record. It's like climbing a mountain with someone who's sitting at the base, refusing to move, but still expecting you to carry her. Eventually, you burn out. Women like this don't just lack motivation, they lack humility. And that's key. Because growth requires facing your flaws. It requires admitting you don't know everything. But she won't go there. Instead, she deflects. Every failure? Someone else's fault. Every setback? Someone else's doing. Challenge her, even gently, and she'll get defensive or dismissive. Because deep down, she doesn't want to grow. She wants to feel safe in her limitations. Men, pay attention. A woman who doesn't ask questions, who doesn't seek truth, who isn't curious about anything outside her comfort zone, that's not just laziness. That's intellectual poverty. That's emotional poverty. You cannot build a future with a woman who refuses to build herself. And here's the painful truth: if you stay too long, you'll start shrinking. You'll dial back your own ambition just to keep the peace. You'll quiet your growth so hers doesn't feel threatened. And slowly, you'll become a smaller version of yourself, just to survive the relationship. Now here's the twist: some women aren't like this because they're evil. They're like this because no one ever expected more from them. Mediocrity was rewarded. Comfort was praised. And unless life shakes them up, or they're surrounded by people who demand more, they'll stay stuck forever. The question is, do you want to be her wake-up call? Do you want to waste years hoping she'll evolve? Or do you want a woman who's already moving forward on her own? And if you thought this one hit deep, just wait. Because the next trait? It's not just frustrating, it's emotionally exhausting. You do not want to miss this. Now let's talk about one of the most damaging traits a woman can have: she lets emotions drive her actions. At first, it might seem like passion, fire, spontaneity. You think, she just feels things deeply. But make no mistake, when a woman is ruled by emotion, logic disappears. And with it goes stability, peace, and long-term trust. Here's what it looks like in real life. 1 minute, she's warm, affectionate, saying she loves you. The next, she's cold, distant, accusing you of things you didn't do, things she imagined in her own emotional storm. You're stuck trying to defend yourself against feelings, not facts. You can't reason with someone who refuses to use reason. You can't build with someone whose emotional world is a tornado, and you're expected to guess the weather every day. This kind of woman isn't just unpredictable, she's exhausting. You start walking on eggshells. You stop speaking freely. You filter every word just to avoid the next outburst. And slowly, your voice disappears. Here's the trap that catches most men: you think you can calm her, fix her, bring her peace. But here's the truth: if she doesn't take responsibility for her emotions, she becomes a direct threat to your inner peace. And Stoicism teaches us clearly: master yourself, or be mastered by emotion. The emotionally reactive woman lives in reverse. Every thought becomes a belief. Every mood becomes a decision. Every insecurity becomes an accusation. It's chaos disguised as passion. And over time, that chaos seeps into you. You start questioning yourself. You carry the blame for things you didn't do. You lose confidence, lose clarity, and worst of all, you start thinking this emotional instability is normal. Let's be real, we all have emotions. And a strong woman learns to manage hers without setting fire to everything around her. But a foolish woman? She lets the fire burn, and then blames you for the ashes. And as bad as that sounds, the next sign makes this one look harmless. Because what we're about to discuss doesn't just damage relationships, it destroys the foundation of everything good in a man's life. Stick with me, what comes next reveals the mindset that turns red flags into emotional landmines. Now let's talk about the trait that turns red flags into sirens: entitlement. And I'm not talking about the occasional selfish moment, we all have those. I'm talking about a deep-rooted belief that everyone owes her something. This mindset poisons every relationship it touches. A woman like this walks through life believing the world exists to meet her needs. Her partner, her friends, even strangers, it's all about what they can do for her. And the second you stop playing along, she flips. You're no longer her partner, you're her enemy. Here's how it begins. She expects you to make her happy, fix her emotions, solve her problems. And when you can't or won't, you're the bad guy. She never takes ownership. Never asks, how can I grow? Because in her world, she's always the victim. You'll hear things like, you should know what I need, or if you really loved me, you'd do this. She keeps a mental scoreboard of everything she didn't get, and instead of showing gratitude, she gives you guilt trips. You're constantly being tested, but never truly appreciated. Being with a woman like this feels like a never-ending job interview. You show up, perform, try your best, but you're never enough. And the moment you stop pouring in effort, time, or money, she calls you weak, selfish, a failure. Here's the truth, a woman who lives with this mindset can't be satisfied. No matter what you give, affection, loyalty, support, it won't fill the void. She'll drain you emotionally, financially, spiritually, until there's nothing left. And then, she'll blame you for running empty. Stoicism teaches us that peace and fulfillment come from within. But a woman like this doesn't want inner peace, she wants someone else to provide it. And if you try to build a life with her, you'll spend every day paying the price for her entitlement. It's a one-sided contract. You give. She takes. You bend. She demands more. And it never stops. But as toxic as this is, it's not the final form of foolishness. Because the last trait? It doesn't just hurt you, it destroys the very foundation of trust, integrity, and loyalty. It's the one sign every high-value man must run from immediately. In the final part of this video, we're going to expose the most dangerous trait of all, the one that separates emotionally immature women from morally empty ones. Stay with me. What you're about to hear might change how you see people forever. Now we've arrived at one of the most dangerous traits a woman can have. She doesn't seek truth, she only looks for proof that she's right. At first, it might seem harmless. But if you've ever dealt with a woman like this, you know how quickly it becomes a cycle of manipulation, self-righteousness, and emotional chaos. Here's how it plays out. No matter how calm you are, no matter how logical your point is, she's not listening to understand. She's listening to defend. Every conversation becomes a courtroom. Every disagreement feels like an attack on her identity. She's not asking, is this true? She's asking, how can I win? And once she locks into her version of the story, it's over. Facts won't move her. Logic won't reach her. Even her own past words don't matter anymore. She rewrites history to protect her ego. This isn't confidence, it's arrogance wrapped in insecurity. She doesn't want clarity. She wants control. And here's the real danger, a woman who refuses to seek truth cannot grow. She'll repeat the same toxic patterns again and again, blaming others for the fallout and calling it being real. But it's not real. It's delusion. It's a carefully constructed illusion she clings to so she never has to change. Being with a woman like this turns your relationship into a mental battlefield. You'll spend more time defending your intentions than living your life. You'll walk away from arguments wondering what just happened, because it felt like you were debating someone living in an alternate reality. Every time you try to bring clarity, you're met with defensiveness, or gaslighting, or total denial. And over time, you start doubting your own sanity. Stoicism teaches us that the pursuit of truth is sacred. Not comfort, not ego, not pride, but truth. A wise woman can face it, even when it hurts. A foolish one avoids it, because she knows deep down, the truth would destroy the fragile fantasy she's built. But believe it or not, this still isn't the final level. Because while this trait warps reality, the last one destroys it. The final sign doesn't just twist truth, it betrays it completely. It crosses into something far darker, something no high-value man should ever tolerate. This last part? It's about morality, integrity, and the kind of woman who leaves wreckage behind her wherever she goes. Let's finish strong. Now we've reached the most dangerous trait of all. Ignore this one, and you won't just risk heartbreak, you risk complete destruction. She betrays her principles whenever it's convenient. This isn't just about immaturity. This is about moral emptiness. A woman like this will lie without hesitation, manipulate without guilt, and betray without remorse if it benefits her in the moment. And here's the scary part, she can appear completely normal. She'll say all the right things, smile at the right times, talk about loyalty, values, honesty. But the second those values cost her anything, her comfort, her ego, her image, she throws them away like trash. Loyalty? Only when it's easy. Honesty? Only when it makes her look good. Integrity? Only when it doesn't cost her anything. This woman will sell you out for attention, for status, for an ego boost. She'll convince you she's solid until life applies pressure. And then she flips. She doesn't feel guilt, she feels justified. Because in her mind, if it serves her, it must be right. You'll see the signs if you're paying attention. She's one person around you, another around others. Her story changes depending on who's listening. One day she preaches truth, then rewrites it the moment honesty becomes uncomfortable. She doesn't just twist reality, she walks away from it entirely. And worse, she walks away like it never happened. A woman like this isn't just hard to love. She's impossible to trust. You never know where she stands, because she doesn't even know. Her values are not rooted. They're reactive, conditional, disposable. And by the time you see her true nature, it's already too late. The damage is done. Your trust is gone. And your peace? Shattered. Stoicism teaches us to stand on principle, even when it's hard. To choose character over comfort. To remain unmoved by pressure. But a woman without those values? She'll burn every bridge she crosses, including yours. Now that you've seen all 6 signs, it's time to connect the dots. Because this isn't just about identifying foolishness, it's about protecting yourself from women who destroy silently, not loudly. In the final conclusion, we'll break down exactly what to do if you spot these traits, how to guard your energy, and what kind of woman actually deserves your time, effort, and loyalty. Don't miss it, this last part brings everything together. Now you've seen all 6 signs, 6 patterns that go far beyond surface-level flaws. These aren't just quirks. They're warning lights, the kind that flash before your life starts unraveling. Here's the hard truth most men never hear. You don't rise to the level of your vision, you fall to the level of the woman you commit to. Let that settle in. The wrong woman won't just waste your time. She'll drain your ambition, distort your perception, and slowly chip away at your self-respect. Not because she's trying to ruin you, but because she's already lost within herself. A woman who lives for attention, avoids growth, reacts on emotion, demands the world serve her, denies truth, and discards principles. She's not a partner. She's a ticking time bomb. But here's the good news, clarity is power. Once you can spot these traits, you gain the power to walk away early. Say no to manipulation. Protect your peace and build something real. So what kind of woman is worth your loyalty? The one who seeks truth even when it's hard, owns her flaws, and works to improve, lives by values even when no one's watching. That woman? She's rare. She's not loud. She's not flashy. But she's priceless. And if you find her, you build with her. Until then, protect your standards. Guard your energy. Don't fall for looks, charm, or surface-level appeal. Because without character, beauty becomes a burden. And remember this, a woman can either amplify your life or dismantle it. Choose wisely. If you got value from this video, do 3 quick things. Like the video to help spread the message. Subscribe for more no-fluff Stoic wisdom for men. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next drop. And now, I want to hear from you in the comments. Backhand index pointing right. Have you ever been with a woman who showed one or more of these traits? What happened? Your story might help another man avoid the same trap. Until next time, stay grounded, stay sharp, and always choose character over chaos.